ready to find out how to make every day feel a little bit, a little more holy.
Hmm.
We are diving deep into Every Day a Holy Day by Barbara Haynes.
Oh, yeah.
This book is like, it's overflowing with 121 exercises to bring more mindfulness and intention to your life.
Right.
And trust me, some of these are pretty wild. Get
Yeah.
ready to chat with your stuffed animals
Oh, wow.
and thank your car for locking the doors.
It's fascinating how Haynes, takes spirituality out of the temple and weaves it into the fabric of, everyday life.
Okay, so no need to book a trip to a mountaintop retreat,
Yeah.
but how about thanking my toaster? Is that what we're going for here?
You're closer than you think.
Really?
Yeah, the book starts with exercises designed to heighten your awareness of the everyday.
Okay.
And honestly, I think you'd be surprised how much we miss in our routines.
All right, color me intrigued. Where do we start?
Let's start in the kitchen.
Okay.
There's an exercise called kitchen hands, and it's all about becoming super aware of what you touch while cooking. You actually make a note of every single item your hands come into contact with.
So it's not just about being a clean cook.
Right.
It's about being a mindful one.
Exactly. And then, after you're done, you mindfully clean each item, noticing the feel of the water, the soap, the texture of each utensil.
Oh, wow.
It's turning a mundane chore into a mindfulness practice.
Right.
You're really slowing down and appreciating the process, which is something we rarely do when we're rushing through our to-do list.
I can already feel my blood pressure dropping.
I know, it's great.
What else is there?
Haynes also suggests creating special object rituals. This is where you choose an everyday object, you pass frequently, maybe a doorknob or a picture frame,
Okay.
and create a little ritual around it.
So like a little nod or a touch every time I pass. I'm
Yeah.
into it.
It's not about worshiping the object,
Right.
but about transforming the mundane into something meaningful.
Okay.
Think about how that might shift your perception.
Yeah.
You start to see ordinary things with a fresh perspective.
Okay. I'm starting to see how this works.
Good.
But this next exercise, smelly rooms, is throwing me for a loop.
Okay.
You want me to sniff my house?
It might sound strange, but there's a method to the madness.
Okay.
It's about engaging your sense of smell throughout the day.
Hmm.
Could you walk into any room in your house and identify it by scent alone?
I honestly have no idea.
See?
I've never thought about it that way.
That's exactly the point.
Okay.
By paying attention to smells, you're tuning into a sense we often take for granted.
Yeah.
And Haynes doesn't just stop at identification.
Uh-huh.
She asks you to consider how different smells make you feel.
Hmm.
It's about becoming more aware of your physical and emotional responses to your environment.
That's interesting. I feel like I'm always so focused on what I'm seeing that I forget about my other senses.
Yeah, and you're not alone.
Yeah.
Most of us go through life on autopilot, barely registering our surroundings.
Okay.
But these exercises are like little wake-up calls.
So what's the next wake-up call?
How about a little game? It's called The Changeling, and it's a fun way to spark your imagination and observation skills.
So.
As you enter a room, you pretend that one object is subtly different than it was before.
Okay. I'm picturing myself walking into my living room and suddenly my lamp has a feather boa draped over it.
Exactly.
That's great.
The fun part is asking yourself,
Yeah.
which object is it, and why is it different?
Oh,
It's a playful way to break free from routine and challenge your assumptions about what's real.
I love that. And anything that adds a little playfulness to my day is a win in my book.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And finally, we have details, which is all about transforming those little pockets of downtime we all have
Yeah.
into opportunities for mindfulness.
You mean like when I'm waiting in line at the grocery store or stuck in traffic?
Exactly. Instead of scrolling through your phone, Haynes suggests picking an object and noticing every single detail about it without actually touching it.
Okay.
This is a classic mindfulness technique. You are focusing your attention on the present moment through direct observation, which can be a surprisingly powerful way to calm a busy mind.
I can already feel myself getting more zen just thinking about it.
Awesome.
But do these awareness exercises really have that much impact?
Think about it. How often are you truly present in your everyday life?
Yeah,
Probably not as much as you think.
you're right.
These exercises are all about waking up to the present moment, appreciating the beauty and complexity of the ordinary.
It's like we're on a quest to rediscover the magic in the mundane.
Precisely. But Haynes doesn't stop there. She also wants us to shake things up a bit, to shift our perspectives more dramatically.
Yeah.
And trust me, some of these exercises are real mind benders.
Okay. My mind is officially warmed up and ready to be bent. bring on the perspective shifting exercises.
Get ready, because this first one is a doozy.
Right.
It's called Flowing Universe.
Okay.
And it involves seeing the world from a completely different vantage point. Imagine you're in a moving vehicle.
Okay.
Now, instead of feeling the car moving forward,
Yeah.
imagine the car is completely still, and it's the world that's moving around you.
Whoa. That's trippy. I can see how that could shift your perspective.
Yeah,
But I'm also wondering how someone who gets carsick would handle that.
that's a good point.
Mm.
It might not be the best exercise for everyone,
Right.
but if you can get past the initial disorientation,
Yeah.
it can be a powerful way to challenge your assumptions about reality.
Hmm.
We tend to think of ourselves as the center of the universe,
Right.
but what if we're not?
Yeah.
What if everything we perceive as fixed and stable is actually in constant motion?
I'm getting a little dizzy just thinking about it, but I'm definitely going to give it a try next time I'm in the passenger seat.
Okay, let me know how it goes.
What else do we have?
How about a little mirror work?
Oh.
This exercise is called Mirror, and it's another one that plays with our perception of reality.
Okay.
Look in a mirror and imagine that the reflected room is the real one, and your current surroundings are just a reflection.
Okay.
Then flip the script
All right.
and imagine you are the reflection.
Okay, this one is definitely messing with my head.
I know, right?
What's the point of all this mental gymnastics?
It's about shaking things up, disrupting our habitual ways of thinking and perceiving. We get so stuck in our routines and our limited perspectives that we forget there are other ways of seeing the world.
Yeah.
These exercises are like little cracks in the pavement of our assumptions, allowing us to glimpse something new and unexpected.
So it's not about finding the right perspective. It's about recognizing that there are multiple perspectives,
Right.
and they're all valid.
Exactly. And sometimes exploring those different perspectives can help us see things in ourselves and others that we might have missed otherwise.
I like that. Okay, this next one, laughing in the mirror, sounds a little less intense.
It is.
Tell me more.
This is a fun one, but it can also be surprisingly challenging. Try maintaining a neutral facial expression and see how many different ways you can laugh without changing your face.
Hold on. I'm going to try. Okay, this is harder than it sounds. I'm getting some weird looks from my dog.
Yeah, it can be tough.
It can.
It's a great way to connect with your emotions in a playful and unexpected way.
Okay.
And it can help you detach from the outward expression of emotions and explore the nuances of your inner experience.
Right.
You start to realize that laughter isn't just about smiling and making noise. There's a whole spectrum of feeling beneath the surface.
Like we're training our emotional muscles. So far, we've played with our senses, our perceptions, and even our emotions. Where do we go from here?
Now we're going to dive into exercises that focus on bringing more intention and connection into our lives.
Okay.
And I think you'll find that even the simplest actions can take on a whole new meaning when we approach them with intention.
All right, we're ready to be intentional. Where do we start?
Let's head back to the kitchen for this one.
Okay.
It's called Silence in the Kitchen. And as the name suggests, it involves refraining from talking while you're cooking.
Ooh, that's a tough one for me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a total chatterbox in the kitchen,
Yeah.
but I'm willing to give it a try.
Okay.
What's the benefit of all this quiet time?
It's not about deprivation.
Okay.
It's about enhancing focus and presence.
Right.
By silencing your internal chatter and denying yourself conversation,
Yeah.
you're forced to become more aware of the actions and even the sounds of cooking.
Okay.
The sizzle of onions in the pan, the rhythmic chopping of vegetables, the gentle bubbling of a sauce. These sounds become a kind of symphony when you're truly present.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It's like turning cooking into a moving meditation.
Yeah.
I'm already feeling calmer just thinking about it.
That's great.
And then there's special guest, which takes this idea of intentionality to a whole new level.
Right.
Imagine hosting a dinner party for someone you're not particularly fond of.
Yeah.
Wait, seriously.
Yeah.
I'm all about spreading kindness. But isn't that setting a false expectation?
It's not about forcing yourself to feel something you don't.
Right.
But what if you treated this person as a cherished guest, attending to their needs and preferences with genuine care?
Okay.
You could prepare their favorite food, play their favorite music, maybe even have their favorite flowers.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
It's about practicing radical acceptance, even for people who challenge us.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
There's a psychological principle called cognitive dissonance,
Right.
which suggests that when our actions and beliefs are in conflict,
Yeah.
we tend to adjust our beliefs to match our actions.
Mm.
So by acting kindly towards someone we dislike,
Okay.
we might actually start to see them in a more positive light.
So it's like faking it till you make it, but on an emotional level?
It's more nuanced than that.
Okay.
It's about recognizing the humanity in others, even when it's difficult.
Right.
And it's about challenging ourselves to step outside our comfort zones and see what happens.
This one is definitely going to take some effort, but I can see the potential for growth.
Yeah.
Okay, I need something a little more lighthearted after that one.
I hear you.
What about this fuzzy friends exercise? I'm intrigued.
This one is pure fun, but it also has a deeper purpose.
Okay.
Think back to when you were a kid and your stuffed animals were your closest confidants.
Oh, I totally had tea parties with my teddy bear. We were inseparable.
Exactly. As adults, we often lose touch with that childlike wonder and imagination.
Right.
But what if you could recapture some of that magic? Haynes suggests treating your stuffed animals as though they're alive, engaging with them, maybe even listening to what they might have to say.
I love that. I'm going to have to dust off my old teddy bear for this one.
Uh,
I wonder what he's been up to all these years.
It's about giving yourself permission to be playful and imaginative, something we often deny ourselves as adults. And who knows, you might be surprised by the insights and creativity that emerge when you tap into that childlike part of yourself.
Okay, I'm sold. What's next?
This one is particularly relevant in our increasingly automated world.
Oh.
It's called Say Thank You to Technology.
Wait, you want me to thank my Roomba for vacuuming the floor?
Yeah.
I mean, it's doing its job.
I know it sounds strange,
It does.
but think about it.
Right.
These technologies are constantly working for us, making our lives easier, often in ways we don't even see or think about.
Okay, I can see your point.
Right.
It's about acknowledging the unseen forces that make our lives easier.
Yeah.
And it's about shifting from a mindset of entitlement to one of gratitude.
Exactly. And gratitude has been shown to have all sorts of benefits, from increased happiness to improved physical health. It's a powerful practice, even when directed towards inanimate objects.
It's like we're expanding our circle of compassion to include our gadgets and appliances. But seriously, what's the point of thanking a machine? Is it really going to feel appreciated?
Maybe not in the way we understand it, but the point of this exercise isn't to make our technology feel good.
Right.
It's about shifting our own perspective, cultivating a sense of appreciation for the things we often take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And that shift in perspective can have a ripple effect,
Yeah.
influencing how we interact with the world around us,
Right.
and even how we treat other people.
I'm starting to see a pattern here. It's not about the objects themselves. It's about how we choose to relate to them.
Yeah.
We can go through life on autopilot, barely registering the things around us, or we can choose to see them with fresh eyes, with intention and gratitude.
You're getting it. And that's a perfect segue into the final theme of the book,
Yeah.
self-reflection and growth.
Right.
These exercises take us even deeper, prompting us to examine our own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors.
All right, I'm ready to go deep.
Yeah.
What does Haynes have in store for us?
Let's start with an exercise called speaking.
Okay.
Now, this one is all about becoming more mindful of our communication.
Intriguing. Tell me more.
Yeah.
Okay, mindful communication.
Hmm.
I'm all ears. I feel like I could use a little more intention in that department. Sometimes my mouth goes on autopilot.
You and me both. But that's where speaking comes in. Before you speak, Haynes suggests asking yourself a simple question: why?
Going.
If it's not truly necessary, she encourages you to remain silent.
So it's about hitting the pause button before words come tumbling out. I can see how that could lead to some awkward silences.
It might feel strange at first, but think about how much we say out of habit, boredom, or a need to fill the silence.
Right.
This exercise is about becoming aware of those patterns and making a conscious choice about when and why we speak.
So it's less about what we say and more about why we say it. It's like taking back control of our own voices.
Exactly. It's about moving from reactive communication to intentional communication. And that shift can have a profound impact on our relationships and our overall sense of well-being.
Okay, I'm willing to give it a try. What's next?
This next exercise, PMS, might raise a few eyebrows, but it's not what you think. It's about cultivating emotional intelligence and self-control. Specifically, Haynes suggests that when you're experiencing difficult emotions such as those associated with PMS, you practice not letting them outwardly affect your behavior.
Now, this is where I need some clarification. We're not talking about suppressing emotions, right? Because that doesn't sound healthy.
You're right. It's not about suppression. It's about observation and control.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that we have a choice in how we respond to our emotions.
So it's about creating a space between the emotion and the reaction. Instead of snapping at someone when you're feeling irritable,
Exactly.
you take a moment to acknowledge the feeling. and choose a more constructive response.
That's a great way to put it. It's about developing the ability to choose our responses rather than being ruled by our emotions.
It sounds like a valuable skill to cultivate, not just for managing PMS, but for navigating all of life's challenges. I can see how this exercise could be incredibly helpful for anyone who struggles with emotional reactivity.
Absolutely. It's about taking responsibility for our emotional states and how they impact ourselves and others. And it's about empowering ourselves to make choices that align with our values, even when we're feeling overwhelmed by difficult emotions.
All right, I'm adding this one to my list. What else do we have?
Let's move on to an exercise that encourages deep self-reflection.
Okay.
It's called Contemplate, and the prompt is this: if I was no longer to do what I do, who would I be?
Wow, that's a heavy one. I imagine this could lead to some major existential crises for some people,
Yeah.
but I can also see how it could be incredibly liberating.
Exactly. It's about separating our sense of self from our roles and activities. We get so caught up in what we do for a living, our hobbies, our social status, that we forget who we are at our core.
It makes you question your values, your passions, your purpose. It forces you to ask, if I stripped away all the external stuff, what would be left?
And that can be a scary question to face, but it can also be incredibly illuminating. It's a reminder that our worth is inherent, not dependent on our achievements or external validation.
So it's a journey of self-discovery, but it might also be a bit of a demolition project, tearing down all the false constructs we've built around ourselves to reveal the authentic self underneath.
I like that analogy. It's about getting back to basics, to the essence of who we are, beyond all the labels and roles.
Okay, ready for the last exercise. Hit me with it.
This one is called irritation admiration, and it's a powerful practice in self-awareness. It's a two-part exercise that involves paying attention to both what irritates us and what we admire in others.
So we're talking about those little things that bug us about other people, as well as the qualities we find inspiring. I have a mental list of both. I'm not going to lie.
We all do. But here's the twist. Haynes asks us to consider whether those same traits exist within ourselves.
Whoa, that's a mind blower. It's like that saying, when you point a finger at someone, there are three fingers pointing back at you.
Exactly. It's a reminder that we are all mirrors for each other, reflecting back our own strengths and weaknesses.
So if I'm constantly annoyed by someone who's always late, maybe it's because I have a struggle with time management myself.
Or maybe you value punctuality so highly because you've had to overcome a tendency towards tardiness in your own life.
Oh, wow.
It's about digging beneath the surface of our judgments and asking, what is this irritation or admiration really telling me about myself?
It's like we're using other people as a tool for self-discovery. It's brilliant, but also a little bit terrifying.
It can be both. But ultimately, it's about taking responsibility for our own projections and judgments. And it's about recognizing that the qualities we see in others, both positive and negative, often reflect something back to us about ourselves.
Wow, this deep dive has been a wild ride. We've explored everything from smelling our rooms to chatting with our stuffed animals to confronting our deepest fears and insecurities. It's been fun, insightful, and honestly, a little bit challenging at times.
That's the beauty of every day, a holy day. It's not about providing easy answers or quick fixes. It's about asking questions, exploring different perspectives, and ultimately embracing the journey of self-discovery.
It's about finding the sacred in the ordinary, the extraordinary within the mundane. And it's about recognizing that spirituality isn't something we practice on a mountaintop or in a temple. It's something we cultivate in the everyday moments of our lives.
You said it. And these exercises are invitations to wake up to the present moment, to connect more deeply with ourselves and others, and to find those moments of everyday holiness wherever they may be.
So which of these exercises resonated with you the most? What small step can you take today to bring more awareness and intention to your life? We encourage you to check out Every Day a Holy Day by Barbara Haynes for more exercises and deeper exploration. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep seeking, keep exploring, and keep finding those moments of everyday holiness.